Hello, everyone, and welcome to my talk on the 36 decadents of the Zodiac, Windows to the Soul. I have been studying astrology since the mid-'80s, and in 2022, I became a hermetician with the Church of Light, formerly known as the Brotherhood of Light. My esoteric interests lie in the tarot and the science of the stars. I'm also certified by the Canadian Association for Astrological Education, the CAAE, here in Toronto, Canada. Though I've had a full-time career in international logistics, I've owned my own business since 2004. My passion for astrology has always been central to my life. In 1995, I founded the Ninth House Assembly, a monthly meetup to discuss astrological events and charts with fellow CAAE graduates. Today, I'm a proud member of the CAAE, Astrology Toronto, and the Church of Light in Albuquerque, New Mexico. As I prepared for retirement in 2022, I decided to refresh my astrological knowledge. During this time, in 2020, I discovered the Brotherhood of Light and its website, light.org. As the world slowed down, I immersed myself in studying the Brotherhood's 21 courses on the occult sciences, written by Albert Benjamin. He is also known as C.C. Zane. I now practice Hermetic astrology, which forms the basis of this presentation. This system explores the spiritual doctrines of the 36 constellations, their decadence, and the soul's relationship to the cosmos. What follows are the 36 pictographs and their meanings. The origins of the 48 Chaldean constellations, the 12 signs, and the 36 decadents are buried in the past. Decanates originates from the astrological wisdom of the ancient world, rooted in early celestial observations. Decadents divide each zodiac sign into 3 10-degree sections. This ancient system reflects humanity's initial efforts to map cosmic influence on individual lives. I apologize for this foggy picture. However, it is the only one available to best illustrate what is being presented here. This diagram displays the 12 zodiac signs along with their corresponding 36 decadents. While we can't say exactly when the system we use today was fully developed, or how it might have changed over time, we can still trace the path of the ancient civilizations that shaped our spiritual legacy, passed down from the Chaldeans and Greeks. The images they selected to represent the key qualities of those born under each 30-degree segment of the sun's path were mapped in the sky as constellations. These constellations, however, do not always span exactly 30 degrees like the zodiac signs. Some are larger while others are smaller. The Chaldeans also discovered and regularly used the fact that each of the 12 zodiac signs could be divided into 3 sections. These sections, known as decadents, each have their own distinct influence, though it is generally weaker than that of the sign as a whole. This ancient Chaldean map is a star chart that divides the sky into 12 zodiac signs, each spanning about 30 degrees. Each zodiac sign subdivided into 3 smaller sections called decanates. The constellations and subdivisions depicted as symbols of animals, gods, or mythological figures, were used for astrological purposes to help the Chaldeans interpret the movements of celestial bodies and their connection to human affairs. They were also attributed to minor planetary influences, which tempered or blended with the ruling influence of each sign. The constellations and their subdivisions, depicted as symbols of animals, gods, or mythological figures, are shown here on this map. And there are two common methods of delineating decans: the Chaldean system and the modern triplicity system. Hermetic astrology follows the triplicity method. The modern triplicity system evolved from Hellenistic astrology, which blended various influences, including Chaldean, Egyptian, and Greek traditions. The triplicity system categorizes the zodiac signs into elemental groups: fire, earth, air, and water, offering insight into the general temperament and compatibility of signs, with a focus on broader elemental characteristics. In contrast, the Chaldean decadents provide a more granular, planet-based approach to understanding the influences within each zodiac sign. The 36 decadents, or 10-degree sections of the zodiac, can be extremely valuable in defining and guiding the client's inner spiritual nature and mission in life. Each decanate brings out different dimensions within the same sign, adding depth and variety. The first decanate is the most pure. The second is an intensified or creative layer. And the third is a more expansive or complex version of the sign's traits. Each decan brings a different dimension within the same sign, adding depth. For example, the first decan of Aries, from 0 degrees to 9 degrees 59 minutes, is the sign Aries, followed by the second subsection, which is also Aries, being the first of the fire triplicity, its own sign. Therefore, the first decan personality is Aries Aries. The second decan of Aries, from 10 degrees to 19 degrees 59 minutes, starts with the sign of Aries, followed by the subsection, which is the second fire triplicity sign, being Leo. Therefore, this individual would have an Aries Leo temperament. And the third decan of Aries, from 20 degrees to 29 degrees 59 minutes, always begins with the Aries sign, followed by the subsection, which is the third fire sign in the fire triplicity, being Sagittarius. This combination is a person with an Aries Sagittarius signature. Each decan has the sub-influence of the planetary ruler of the second decan. In this example, the respective planetary rulers are Mars, then Sun, and then Jupiter. You'll see the 27-degree Aries example. You have an individual with an Aries, Sagittarius, and Jupiter signature. This would be an energetic, optimistic, possibly extravagant, certainly jovial individual generated by this decanate. Your objective is to assess and measure the volume of astrological energy expressing through each section of the zodiac at the time you were born. Create a personal decadent profile, the window to your soul, your decadence. Know the key words, be familiar with the images, understand their meanings. Your decadent profile is the hierarchy of self-knowledge, offering insight into your life story, your purpose, and spiritual potential, both now and in the future. Fine-tuning this profile provides a clear, reliable image of your reason for being and your spiritual growth. The decadent, occupied by any planet in your birth chart, will provide valuable personal data. However, those planets occupied by the Sun, Moon, Ascendant, and Mercury should receive your close attention. The Sun qualities in the birth chart are the most persistent and deep-seated. The decadent in which we find the Sun in the chart is where we find individuality. The mentality is in the decan occupied by the Moon. The type of experience most easily received and assimilated by the unconscious mind and determines the quality of the mental processes. As the ascendant is the interface between the physical body and the unconscious mind, the decadent in which we find the ascendant relates to the personality. And Mercury. Mercury in your birth chart is the astral marker expressing your desire to reason and communicate your thoughts in speech or writing, perception. If the Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Mercury is conjunct another planet in the same decadent, it will be a data hotspot. Here's an example of the personality decadence, a window to the soul. Albert Benjamin. He was born on December 12th, 1882. He is known as an American astrologer by his pseudonym C.C. Zane. He co-founded the Brotherhood of Light, now the Church of Light. He authored the 21 courses on the occult sciences. Initially a naturalist, he experienced a life-changing encounter in 1900, leading him to develop a new understanding of astrology within the Hermetic system in 1922. His sun is 20 degrees 26 Sagittarius. Sagitta, the arrow, is the constellation, and the key word is illumination. Those born in this decadent are spiritually enlightened, teaching philosophical thought. The pursuit of wisdom and cosmic understanding, and this is the Sagittarius Leo decan. Benjamin's moon is at 13 degrees 19 minutes Capricorn. Delphinius is the constellation, the dolphin, and the key word is martyrdom. These people work tirelessly towards a cause or a goal. They set their mind upon some worthy aim. They are capable of great self-sacrifice in the interest of universal progression. This is the Capricorn Taurus decan. His ascendant is 2 degrees 22 minutes Sagittarius in the constellation Lyra the Harp. The key word here is devotion. The soul aligns with the cosmic mind. Spiritual, one who is tuned into nature. Benjamin was a naturalist before he became an astrologer. He's guided by intuition, dedicated to a cause. This is the Sagittarius decadent. To add to this decadent personality profile, his Mercury is at 17 degrees Sagittarius, the second decan of Sagittarius Aries, symbolized by Aquila the eagle. This decanate embodies exploration and pioneering spirit. Those born in this decadent are driven to seek new physical, mental, or spiritual pursuits, thriving when engaged in meaningful work. Confinement frustrates them, but tasks of significance unlock their strong executive abilities. This is the decadent of exploration, encouraging the investigation of unknown realms that ultimately leads to advancements in the life experience. C.C. Zane achieved this in his lifetime. Note that he has all 3 subsections of Sagittarius in his personality decanates. Blending the decanates of the personality reveals a life's narrative, offering insight into the individual's innate talents, a window to their soul. Here you see Albert Benjamin's life story. While the 12 zodiac signs are well known, the focus on decanates in natal astrology deserves more attention. Ancient traditions highlighted the spiritual influences of each sign's subdivisions, emphasizing the soul's connection to others and the cosmos. Today, we will explore the 36 decans and their symbolic teachings. Aries, I am. Element fire, ruling planet Mars. Because Aries are pioneers who venture into new lands, and because it is here that the transition symbolically takes place, it is eminently fitting that the ancients associate the ram with their teachings of survival. The text they sought to convey by Aries has been expressed by divine wisdom. There is no death. What seems so is transition. This life of mortal breath is but a suburb of the life Elysian, whose portal we call death. The first decanate, Aries, with the sub-influence of Mars, is represented by the constellation Triangulum, a starry triangle. The triangle being a symbol of flame, its 3 sides unite body, mind, and soul. The Trinity reflecting a harmonious balance, emphasizing cooperation, highlights activity, where zest and enthusiasm fuels actions leading to increased productivity. Individuals are likely to be dynamic and passionate, often channeling their energy into creative and ambitious pursuits. The pioneer spirit of Aries is expressed in this decadent and all its fiery fullness. The decadent of activity is energy in motion. The symbolic text being all life, thought, and action are the product of the union of positive and negative potencies. Creation involves a trinity, as also does destruction, It is only when the union of contending or divergent factions is properly directed that we attain true progress. The second decadent of Aries Leo, with the subfluence of the sun, is symbolized by Eridanus, the celestial river of life. Represents Mars' severity tempered by the sun's magnanimity. It reflects the flow of perpetual vitality. These individuals become rulers of men through their inherent power to sway the minds of others. The heart is sometimes somewhat joined to the head. The greatest lever for attainment is noble affection. Born to lead rather than serve, for Leo lends a persistent ambition for power. The decadent of exaltation signifies a heightened state of mind and emotions where thoughts and feelings reach a peak of excellence, emotional excellence. The sun, the planet of power, authority, and distinction, is exalted in the 19th degree of Aries. The celestial river, Eridanus, sets forth this spiritual text. The fountain of immortal life springs from man's emotional nature. The vibrations are exalted love, having a rate sufficiency frequent to affect spiritual substance and build a spiritual body. The third decadent of Aries is Sagittarius. The sub-influence is Jupiter. Perseus is the messenger and the valiant hero. The heroic figure is equipped with the wings of thought, the helmet of courage, the sword of righteousness, and shield of goodness and kindness, representing victory over evil. Think of Medusa. With the sub-rulership of Jupiter, aggressive energies can be diverted into religious and/or philosophical means. This division of Aries possesses vast energy. When its natives advocate progressive ideas or protect the weak, they may become valiant heroes fighting against oppression and oppressive forces in society. It is the decadent of propaganda, which is the organized spread of ideas or principles by a person, movement, or organization. Though not inherently negative, it has gained a dubious reputation due to the misuse by governments, religions, and corporations to mislead the public. The celestial symbolic message being, there is no vicarious atonement. Each soul is a responsible being, working out its own deliverance from the thraldom inherited from ancestry and forced upon it by environment. The ancient word thraldom, meaning the state of being under the control of another person, in this case, Medusa. Now to introduce you to individuals that exemplify the characteristics of their decadent sun. Lady Gaga, born March 28th in 1986, in the first decadent of Aries, Aries at 7 degrees. The key word is activity and represents movement. She is a versatile singer, songwriter, actress, and pop icon known for her image, reinventions, and costume design. She is the founder of Born This Way Foundation. She champions youth empowerment and embodies dynamic energy. Maya Angelou. She was born in the second decadent of Aries Leo. The key word is exaltation. American author, poet, and civil rights activist, she drew strength from early life struggles, embodying resilience. She believed in, quote, survival with grace and faith, and that despite defeats, one must not be defeated. Emotional excellence, exalted triumph through her emotional strength. In the third decadent, we have Anthony Blinken, born in 1962 on April 16th, in the Aries Sagittarius decadent. The key word here is propaganda, meaning circulating, broadcasting information. He served as the U.S. Secretary of State from January 2021 to January 2025. He was born and bred an international diplomat, policymaker, and advisor, an influencer, spreading constructive propaganda for positive impact. Taurus. Keyword is I have. Element Earth, the ruling planet Venus. The spiritual doctrine here says, physical life and its opportunities should not be slighted, neither should spiritual aspirations be ignored. Learn, therefore, to render under Caesar the things which be Caesar's, and unto God the things which be God's. The first decadent is Taurus Taurus, with the sub-influence of planet Venus, represented by the constellation Lupus the Hare, symbolizing bashfulness, which can hinder progress. As the first decadent, it naturally rules the second house of possessions. These natives possess strong natural healing abilities. Determination is the capacity to move or flow in a fixed direction and not to waver from your chosen course of action. It displays itself as a fixed purpose and a firm and resolute intention. The moon is the symbol of the soul and is exalted in the third degree of Taurus. The cosmic intelligence is one of man's greatest enemies is fear. The second decadent is Taurus Virgo, sub-influence of Mercury, symbolized by Orion the hunter. His focus purpose through Virgo's influence is the message. Orion symbolizes overcoming material desires and physical limitations. Struggle is the key word for this decadent, the result of conflict and adversity. It displays itself as strenuous effort to overcome or break free from adverse conditions and the domination of others and or social or self-inflicted oppression or limitations. The universal truth, the task of the soul on every plane of manifestation is to struggle with and overcome the limitations of its environment. The third decadent is Taurus Capricorn. The sub-influence is Saturn. The constellation is Auriga, the charioteer, mastery of the soul. These individuals have the ability to guide and protect others. Those born under this decadent have a natural aptitude for spiritual growth, progressing slowly but steadily by using their power to help others. Mastership represents mastery and wisdom in a particular skill or subject, embodying the role of a teacher or guide. The celestial veritas. The function of a master is to control the forces of nature and to use them for the protection of the weak and the benefit of all. Here we have an example for the first decadent Taurus, Bernard Madoff, born in 1938 in the first decadent. The key word is determination. As a financier, he focused on the acquisition of wealth and ran the largest Ponzi scheme in history, defrauding investors of approximately $65 billion. He is an example of determination on becoming wealthy. Adele was born in 1988 in the second decadent of Taurus Virgo. Keyword struggle. She has openly discussed her struggles with anxiety and postpartum depression, sharing how therapy helped her work through anxiety, insecurity, and the emotional impact of fame. Her music explores themes of heartbreak, healing, and personal growth. Inspired by complex relationships, her songs reflect her struggles. Pope John Paul II was born in 1920 in the third decadent of Taurus Capricorn. Mastership is the key word. His spiritual aptitude led him to be one of the most beloved popes in modern history, promoting human rights, opposing communism, and strengthening Catholic doctrine. He was canonized in 2014, a master of his soul's purpose. Gemini. Keyword, I think, element air, ruling planet Mercury. The spiritual doctrine, thoughts are man's most potent builders. The first decadent is Gemini with the sub-ruler influence of Mercury and is symbolized by Ursa Minor, a small bear. This decadent represents mental activity and intuition, suggesting that by quieting the mind, one can access intuitive thought. By avoiding overextending themselves, individuals can reach intellectual heights. Known as the decadent of intuition, it involves instant, unconscious perception without the need for conscious reasoning. Uranus is the planet of originality and is exalted in the 7th degree of Gemini. The stellar wisdom here is only through the intuition does man contact the real underlying truth of things. The second decadent of Gemini Libra, with its sub-influence Venus, is symbolized by Canis Major, the large dog, representing faithfulness and loyalty, akin to a dog's devotion to his master. Those born under it excel by committing to people, ideals, or causes. The decadent of fidelity highlights unwavering loyalty to promises, duties, and partnerships such as marriage. The cosmic knowledge being, this above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow as the night the day, that thou canst not be then false to any man. The third decadent, Gemini Aquarius, with the sub-influence of Uranus, is the constellation Ursa Major, a huge bear. Those born under this decadent can achieve great things, through intellect and reason. However, they should also cultivate idealism and spirituality to avoid becoming self-centered. The decadent of reason emphasizes a conscious mental process grounded in objective consciousness, relying on facts, logic, and hard evidence to solve problems and draw conclusions. It dismisses emotional bias as a potential distortion, highlighting that reasoning requires effort and is not typically necessary for these natives in mundane daily life. The spiritual insight is: reason points to the way of truth and offers a valuable means by which the accuracy of the reports of the psychic senses can be tested. For the first decan of Gemini, the key word is intuition. And here we have Sir Arthur Conan Doyle, born in 1859 in the first decadent of Gemini. He was a British writer best known for creating Sherlock Holmes, blending mystery, adventure, and a science fiction element. Ian Fleming was also born in this same decadent of Gemini in 1908, both men being prolific writers. Fleming was famous for creating James Bond series, blending espionage, adventure, and glamour in his novels. Both authors receiving facts and information without resorting to the laborious process of conscious thought or reason, relying on their inner voice for immediate insight. Fidelity. Marilyn Monroe was born on June 1st, 1926, in the second decadent, Gemini Libra. She was an iconic actress and model, symbolizing Hollywood glamour and beauty, with a legacy marked by fame, vulnerability, and tragedy through the complexities of her relationships, namely Arthur Miller, the writer, and John and Robert Kennedy, the politicians. Her insecurity undermined her faithfulness. And then we have Anne Frank in the third decan Gemini Aquarius. The key word is reason. She was born in 1929. Hiding from the Nazis in an attic during World War II, she channeled her sharp intellect and boundless curiosity into writing, even amid dire conditions. Her words reveal resilience, adaptability, and profound insight, capturing both youthful hope and the harsh reality of her hidden life. The book survived her. The Diary of a Young Girl was first published in 1947, and here you see her narrating truth as it happens. Cancer. Keyword: I feel. Water is the element, the ruler is the moon. Divine knowledge. Parenthood tends to displace selfishness with those tender affections that most quickly strengthen the soul and build the spiritual body. The first decan, Cancer, is sub-influenced by the moon, symbolized by Canis Minor, a small yapping dog, and reflects a lack of courage and loyalty, suggesting susceptibility to domestic intrigue and intense emotions. Individuals in this decan can benefit from careful emotional management. It is essential for them to cultivate faithfulness and poise. Their heightened sensitivity heightens poetic and dramatic talents, but can make them vulnerable to external influences. Developing firmness and positivity is essential, as this is the decadent of moods, where shifting moods affect actions, with pleasant moods offering comfort and unpleasant ones causing discomfort. The stellar teaching: if therefore the thoughts are evil or the emotions run wild, they act as thus directed, unaware that destruction follows to their master. The spiritual text, which the decadent thus suggests, is, the wages of sin is death. Well, I know this decadent all too well. The management of my moods determines my success or my failure. I've had many years to learn this. The next decadent, the second decadent, is Cancer Scorpio. The sub-influence is Pluto. This decan is symbolized by Hydra, the water serpent, and spans from Cancer to Scorpio. The serpent embodies creative energy and strong emotions. The myth of Hercules battling Hydra symbolizes their struggle with sensual desires and mortality. This Cancer Scorpio decadent signifies individuals who are resourceful, energetic, and intensely emotional. Those born in this decadent often have a natural connection to the spirit world. By maintaining control over their mind and body, they can receive guidance from the spiritual realm in their meaningful pursuits. It is the decadent of revelation and involves knowledge or experience revealed through divine or supernatural means. Jupiter, the planet of religion, is exalted in Cancer in the 15th degree. Trying to eliminate, ignore, suppress a desire doesn't work, because the energy remains within the subtle body and will eventually express itself either in a positive or negative way. Therefore, the spiritual text is, not through slaying desire, but through sublimating it to a higher plane of manifestation, does man make soul progress. And here I have my Mercury, and no, I have my guardians at my side. The third decan is Cancer Pisces, with Neptune being the sub-influence. And the constellation is symbolized by Argo, the ship tied to the tails of Noah's Ark and the Argonauts. This decan brings stormy seas to those born here, yet a calm mind can steer them to safety. They are restless and curious. They cherish domestic life, but are drawn to explore what lies beyond, balancing domestic life with a desire for knowledge. Their curiosity leads them to uncover hidden realms, especially in nature, where they find their true calling. It is the decadent of research. This decan emphasizes the pursuit of knowledge through systematic investigation, aiming to reveal new truths. The stellar insight is, poise is the one safe haven of the soul. Therefore, under all circumstances, keep an even mind. With my Uranus in this decan, I believe this is why I was drawn to and understood astrology. For the first decan, we have the keyword moods, and Elon Musk was born under this decan, an entrepreneur. He is known to exhibit strong emotions when under stress or facing challenges. He has been known to be temperamental, displaying emotions of anger, resentment, and superiority. He has been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome. So here we wonder, will his childish emotions, his sensitivity, ever be managed? The second decadent is Revelation, represented by Frida Kahlo. She was a Mexican artist born in 1907 in the Cancer Scorpio decan. The key word, revelation, comes through her art and reveals her life's themes, thoughts, and emotions. She painted freely, expressing her imagination and her inner self without constraint. Quote, I paint because I need to, and I paint whatever passes through my head without any other consideration. To see this decan in action, I highly recommend checking out her paintings. Some are very scorpionic, explicit. Her story describes her Cancer Scorpio decan. Research, represented here, is Cheech Marin of the Cheech and Chong movies of the 80s, born in 1946 in the third decadent Cancer Pisces. Cheech has been dedicated and is a dedicated Chicano art collector for over 30 years. He established the Cheech Marin Center in Riverside, California, showcasing the cultural awareness and community spirit. It was the result of his research, his studies, and exploration that the work of Latin American artists is now showcased. His true purpose emerged when he discovered his love of art. Leo, I will, element fire, ruler the sun. The spiritual message here is, any accomplishment truly worthwhile requires the exercise of courage. The first decadent Leo, with its sub-influence the sun, is symbolized by Crater, the cup of fire, and reflects a powerful, fiery love nature. People under this decadent are born leaders. They love energy when channeled constructively and foster success. Those in this decan must temper their inclination to dominate and rule. However, they risk swinging between indulgence and frugality, self-denial. So moderation is the key. The decadent of rulership emphasizes the capacity to govern and influence others effectively, can lead to dominion over others. The wisdom of the cosmos says, to learn to like anything, associate it with as many pleasurable thoughts and sensations as possible. The second decadent of Leo Sagittarius, with the sub-influence of Jupiter, is represented by Centaurus, a half-man, half-horse with a spear, and blends Leo's dominant control paired with philosophical wisdom. Individuals born under this decan are acutely aware of flaws in politics and religion, possessing the courage, conviction, and charisma to rally followers. Symbolized by Centaurus, spearing the wolf, they confront the forces that exploit ignorance. Their persuasive abilities necessitate careful pursuit and sharing of truth, ensuring that they do not spread erroneous ideas. The decan of Reformation emphasizes improving societal wrongs and inspiring positive change. Pluto, the planet of transformation, is exalted in Leo's 17th degree. The cosmic message being, it is more blessed to give than to receive, and to receive in full measure, we must first give of that what we already have. The third decadent, Leo Aries, has the sub-influence of Mars and is symbolized by the constellation Corvus, the raven. This combines Leo's power with Aries' leadership. The raven perched on Hydra represents control over emotions and creative energy. People born here are ambitious, determined to rise despite obstacles. However, they may risk sacrificing integrity or relationships for power. When motivated by ideals that serve humanity, they use their influence to benefit others. The decadent of ambition embodies a strong drive for advancement, distinction, and honor or fame. The universal truth being, man tends to become that which he most talks about and most thinks about. Rulership. David Palmer, born in 1984 in the first decadent of Leo. He is known as the Leo King and is a top astrology influencer, CEO of multiple media companies, and a popular DJ. At 35, Palmer amassed a net worth of $64 million. His trajectory remains captivating. Will he continue to inspire and illuminate, or let the ambition overshadow, rule his light? He is now 40 years young. Reformation. Herbert Hoover, born in 1874 in the second decadent Leo Sagittarius. He was the 31st U.S. president facing the Great Depression, but his legacy extends beyond. A successful mining magnate by 34 years, he improved mining practices, and with a philanthropic spirit, he saved millions during World War I and World War II because of his ability to organize. His legacy as an engineer, innovator, and humanitarian embodies a spirit of progress. He understood restructuring, reorganization, and rectification, words all related to reformation. Ambition. Matthew Perry, a star on the sitcom Friends, was born in 1969 in the third decan, Leo Aries. His personality, being Leo Aries, once said, "I wanted fame desperately, for the attention, the money, and the best seat in the restaurant. If I hadn't experienced fame, I'd have spent my life chasing it," unquote. Perry craved fame but struggled with addiction, starting with alcohol and escalating to drugs, which ultimately claimed his life. Despite this, he advocated for addiction support, lobbying for drug courts, and in 2015 opened a rehab center, Perry House, to aid others in recovery. His ambition fueled his addictions, yet he used his influence to help others. Let's take a short break, and I will see you in a few minutes to continue with part 2, Virgo to Pisces decadence. Get out your star chart and make notes of your sun decadent, your moon, your ascendant, and your Mercury decadence. Get to know yourself. See you shortly. Welcome back to the Hermetic teachings of the 36 decanates. Now we have Virgo. Keyword I analyze. Element Earth, planet Mercury. The stellar truth here is, at all times we are sowing in the soil of our own consciousness. We are building thoughts into ourselves of various kinds. These thought cells, in turn, when sufficient energy has been supplied to them to give them strength, work to attract events of a similar quality into the life. The spiritual text therefore becomes, if a man sows discordant thoughts, he will reap painful experiences. But if he sows thoughts of harmony, he will garner success and happiness. The first decan, Virgo, with its sub-influence of Mercury, is in the constellation Boots, the bear driver. This decadent emphasizes achievement, with natives having a keen ability to extract wisdom from life's experiences. They have restless and analytical minds. They filter essential life lessons, using them to fuel greater accomplishments. This is the decadent of achievement, marked by boldness and superior skill. The celestial insight being, perform conscientiously whatever work comes to thy hand, and because of thy experience, greater things to perform will be given thee. The second decadent, Virgo Capricorn, has Saturn as the sub-influence. Hercules is the constellation, the hero. The decadent, the hero. This decan embodies experience with individuals often tackling enormous tasks through hard work. They experience a wide range of events, both fortunate and challenging, striving for worldly honor through a diplomatic approach. With strong discernment, they can rise above temptations. Known as the decadent of experience, it emphasizes growth through life's varied challenges. Divine wisdom is, from every spark of life, the soul may extract I'll reword that. From every event of life, the soul may extract value, even as the verdant wine transforms in different waters into rich and sparkling wine. The third decadent, Virgo Taurus, with Venus acting as the sub-influence, is in the decan Corona Borealis, the northern crown, and focuses on work and service. Those born here find fulfillment in selfless work for a noble cause, often sacrificing personal desires for duty. Material rewards may be scarce. The growth in character and inner soul power compensates for their sacrifices. The decadent of renunciation, resignation, surrender, signifies growth in character and soul through personal sacrifice. Universal understanding is, he who would live the life of the Spirit here and now upon this earth, seen and known of men, must have fortitude in times of adversity. Achievement. Mother Teresa, born in 1910 in the first decadent of Virgo, was an Albanian-born Catholic missionary. She is known for her humanitarian work in Calcutta. She established orphanages, hospices, and schools worldwide. Her achievements were recognized in 1979 when she received the Nobel Peace Prize for her efforts to aid the sick and the poor. Experience. Colonel Saunders, born in 1890 in the second decan of Virgo Capricorn. He founded KFC after his original restaurant declined due to a new interstate highway. In 1952, he franchised the brand, which became globally recognized, and sold his interests in 1964 for $2 million. He remained an ambassador, later criticizing KFC for prioritizing profits over food quality. His early experience led to financial success. Renunciation. Prince Harry, born in 1984 in the third decadent of Virgo Taurus, is the second son of King Charles III and sixth in line to the British throne. He stepped back from his royal duties in 2020 to seek independence with Meghan Markle, driven by a desire for privacy and protection from the media scrutiny. He gave up the royal life for family health and well-being. Next, we have Libra. Keyword, I balance. Element air, ruler Venus. Those born under this decadent find a harmonious partnership especially important. And because in such a marriage spiritual qualities are engendered, it gives this divine text. Not by one alone may the highest of all be reached, but by two united souls who are exalted by the sweet reverberations of holy love. The first decadent Libra Libra, with the sub-influence of Venus, is represented by the serpent, serpents in the constellations, which depicts creative energy and cunning. This decadent endows its natives with the ability to navigate social situations skillfully. With wisdom and finesse, they can readily influence others for positive change. They're best suited to active involvement in the world's affairs, where they can wield great impact, but should avoid focusing solely on material pursuits. Known as the Decan of policy, it emphasized strategic action while still able to adapt to circumstances. The stellar insight: in matters of philosophy and in matters of action, the true course usually lies somewhere between advocated extremes. The second decadent, Libra Aquarius, with its sub-influence of Uranus, is Draco the dragon. Under the influence of Uranus, Draco represents independence and originality. Those born in this decan are champions of liberty, resisting restrictions and often leading progressive movements. This is the decan of independence, symbolizing freedom from imposed control. When it is thus has united with its ego, and the dark peril is part, it can find no joy in the pain or discomfort of any living things. The spiritual text thus emerges: deal justly, even with thy enemies, for it is better to suffer evil than to retaliate with vengeance. The third decadent is Libra Gemini, with Mercury as a sub-influence, and Lupus, the wolf, is the symbol representing social interaction and a sharp intellect, especially in literature and art, but also hints at a sense of fate linked to partnerships and enemies. Those born here may misuse their talents to dominate others, facing severe consequences. However, by leading ethical, moral lives, they rise to positions of power, influence, and purpose. This is the Decan of expiation associated with atonement and forgiveness, with Saturn, the planet of justice, exalted in Libra's 21st degree. All should understand this cosmic wisdom. It is impossible for a man to injure another without himself being injured, or for a man to benefit another without himself being truly benefited. Policy. Mahatma Gandhi, born 1869 in the first decan of Libra Libra. He was a political leader and activist. He began the Indian freedom movement in 1919, advocating for truth, justice, and independence through nonviolent resistance. India gained independence from England in August 1947, solidifying Gandhi's legacy as a saint and holy man. He was assassinated in 1948 during the ensuing Hindu-Muslim riots. His course of action and purpose was the freedom of his country, and he set an admirable example. Independence. Vladimir Putin, born in 1952, his sun is in the second decan of Libra Aquarius. Putin, as of January 2025, has been in power, whether as president or prime minister, for over 20 years, making him one of the longest-serving leaders in modern Russia. Putin sees himself as a diplomat, pragmatic, and forward-thinking leader. He excels in control, leveraging charm and intelligence while embracing progressive, unconventional ideas for his collective goals. Independence, the ability to think, act, and make decisions without relying on others, is central to his approach. Putin is self-sufficient and self-governing, having created the freedom to pursue his own path, free from external influence. His independence reflects his strength, confidence, and self-reliance. Expiation. Benjamin Netanyahu, born in 1949 under the third decadent of Libra Gemini. He is Israel's longest surviving prime minister, known for his right-wing stance and security focus. With the adaptability and strong communication skills of this decadent, he has skillfully navigated political maneuvering. His corruption trial began in May 2020, with the prosecution resting in July 2024. His defense began in December 2024, but a hearing scheduled for December 17th was canceled, along with 2 weeks of hearings in January, due to Netanyahu undergoing minor surgery at the time of writing. While wars may serve as distractions, they often complicate complex issues. True reconciliation largely depends on open dialogue and common ground. Will his legacy be defined by his political strategies, domestic policies, and willingness to engage in open dialogue? Scorpio, I desire. Element water, ruler Pluto. The celestial belief. Through sex, man contacts the inner planets, drawing into himself, according to his mood, the finest energies that vivify the spaces or the grossest forces from the fetid border spheres. The first Scorpio Decan, with Pluto as the sub-influence, is symbolized by Ophiuchus, the serpent wrestler, who infuses intense emotions. Ophiuchus represents the struggle between higher soul aspirations and base animal desires. Those born here possess intense sexual energy and magnetism, abundant creative energy and imaginative thinking, and a natural healing ability. When these energies are used constructively, these individuals exhibit resourcefulness, imagination, and practical ingenuity. They can achieve extraordinary ideas and live life to its fullest. The Decan of resourcefulness highlights the ability to skillfully overcome difficulties with skill. Resourcefulness follows the ability to divert the sex energy into proper channels, as a constructive and acceptable outlet for the energy must be found. The cosmic message is, continual kindness between the sexes generates a power by which the heights may be scaled. The second decadent of Scorpio Pisces, with its sub-influencer Neptune, is the Decan Ara, the altar, with rising smoke symbolizing sacrifice, reflects the shifts from the self-centeredness to devotion. Mars's aggression is balanced by Piscean spirituality. Individuals born here, influenced by both Mars and Pisces, may need to subdue their passions for spiritual growth. Embracing duty brings advancement and fulfillment. They can easily sacrifice personal gratification for duty. They possess strong, passionate characters and must learn to rise above animal instincts to achieve exalted spiritual heights. The decadent of responsibility highlights the importance of fulfilling duties for advancement. The divine message is, by sacrificing his animal thoughts, desires, and pleasures upon the altar of aspiration to higher things, man becomes in possession of intellectual and spiritual pleasures that yield a far keener delight. The third decadent, Scorpio Cancer, with the sub-influence of the moon, is Corona Australis, the southern crown. The crown of victory signifies success through channeled energy and high ideals. This Cancer-influenced decadent infuses intense emotions and vivid ideas, excelling in chivalry and loyalty, achieving success through social engagement and partnership. Social connections deeply impact their contributions to society. The decadent of attainment, emphasizing the pursuit of personal goals and achievements through skill and effort. The universal truth: men should be esteemed not because of their race, color, sex, or ancestry, but for what they have accomplished for the common good. The true monarch is he who renders greatest service to his fellow man. Resourcefulness, represented by Pablo Picasso, born in 1881, Scorpio. Picasso was renowned for his exceptional imagination, constantly innovating and pushing boundaries in his art. His creativity extended beyond the canvas, reflected in his complex, often tumultuous personal life. Picasso's sexual appetite was legendary, with numerous relationships and lovers, often influencing the intensity and themes in his work. His creations stem from his ingenuity, originality, and deep emotional reservoir. Responsibility. Marie Curie, born 1867, Scorpio Pisces, Decan. Marie Curie exemplified responsibility by diligently conducting pioneering research in radioactivity, ensuring the safety and advancement of science, and mentoring future scientists. She remained committed to the ethical pursuit of knowledge despite the personal and professional challenges she faced. Marie Curie was accountable to herself, embracing personal responsibility in her journey. She died at the age of 66 from prolonged exposure to high levels of radiation. Attainment. Frederick Banting, born in 1891, Scorpio Cancer, Decan. He was a Canadian pharmacologist and surgeon who discovered insulin, a breakthrough that revolutionized the treatment of diabetes and saved countless lives worldwide. For his groundbreaking work, he received the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine, solidifying his legacy as a pioneer in medical science. He achieved his life's purpose. Sagittarius, I see. Fire is the element, Jupiter is the ruler, the universal truth. The expression of true religion is perfect or imperfect according to the abilities and according to the correctness of the insight into what needs to be accomplished in the furtherance of the universal game. This conception is set forth in the divine understanding. True religion is the discernment of the divine plan and a conscious cooperation in its fulfillment. The first decadent, Sagittarius, with Jupiter as the sub-influence in the decan of Lyra the harp, and represents spiritual attunement, devotion, where the soul aligns with the cosmic mind. Those born here are deeply spiritual. They have a deep empathy for life. They are often in tune with nature. They excel when guided by their own intuition, rarely erring in judgment if they follow their inner voice. The decan of devotion emphasizes earnest dedication to a mission or a cause. Like the music of David's harp, faith and devotion soothe and lift the thoughts, for as the celestial message states, on every plane harmony is life and discord is death. The second decadent, Sagittarius Aries, with Mars as the sub-influence and Aquila the eagle, these symbolizing exploration and pioneering. Those born in this decadent are driven to seek new physical, mental, or spiritual pursuits. They thrive when engaged in meaningful work. Confinement frustrates them, but tasks of significance unlock their strong executive abilities. It is the decadent of exploration, which encourages the investigation of the unknown realms, where in due course they advance in life. It is their challenging task to perceive their unconscious realities while asleep and to bring them into the awareness of everyday consciousness. Yet through training, the individual can bring back the reports of his explorations on the inner plane. The wisdom of the stars says, In sleep, the soul wanders on the wings of its desires to the region most attracted to it. Let that region, therefore, be the highest. The third decadent is Sagittarius Leo, the sun being the sub-influencer, and Sagitta, the arrow, is the symbol and signifies illumination. Those born here may choose between the pursuit of pleasure or the path of spiritual enlightenment. They seek truth in all things. They reach their peak as teachers and leaders in philosophical thought. The Decan of illumination emphasizes the pursuit of wisdom and cosmic understanding. Illumination is the most satisfactory and comprehensive way of securing knowledge. To tune in on the desired information requires great concentration. The message of the adepts says, concentration is the arrow that pierces the illusions of matter and makes possible high accomplishments. Devotion. Winston Churchill, born in 1874 in the first Decan Sagittarius. His legacy as a British statesman, military officer, and prime minister is etched in history. Known for his fierce oratory, strategic military mind, and complex views, he embodied resilience and a dedication to democracy, considering himself a man of destiny. His leadership during World War II made him an enduring, if controversial, symbol of resolve. His devotion to his country was unparalleled. Exploration. Roberta Bondar, born 1945 in the second decan Sagittarius Aries, is Canada's first female astronaut and the first neurologist in space. She made groundbreaking contributions to space medicine. She flew on NASA's Space Shuttle Discovery in January 1992, studying the effects of spaceflight on the human body. Her contributions to space medicine define her legacy, paving the way for advancements in the field. Illumination. Keith Richards, born in 1943 in the third decadent Sagittarius Leo. He radiates charisma and resilience. His fiery creativity, magnetic personality, and love for freedom fuel his legendary musical talent. A near-death experience prompted a spiritual awakening, leading him to deepen his connection to music and nature. Quoting Keith, "I've never been into religion, but I am into spirituality. I think there's more to it than just what we see." This emphasizes his belief in something beyond the material world. Capricorn. Keyword I use, element Earth, ruler Saturn. The celestial understanding being, every environment offers opportunities for spiritual advancement, and he who makes good use of his present circumstances for spiritual ends will attract new opportunities. The first decadent Capricorn, with Saturn as the sub-influence, the constellation Cygnus, the decan Cygnus, the swan, symbolizes the retreat from materialism toward spiritual renewal. Embodying organization and leadership. People born under this decan are skilled in classifying, categorizing, organizing, and bringing factions together for efficient change. They often excel in business and politics. They are the managers of the world. The decadent of organization is the state of having things in order or act systematically, structuring, coordinating, restructuring an existing state of affairs to effect a worthwhile improvement. The stellar veritas. Under certain conditions, the stone is rolled from the entrance to the tomb, and man consciously exchanges ideas with those who have entered the chamber of death. The second decadent, Capricorn Taurus, with Venus acting as the sub-influencer, is seen in the Decan Delphinus, the dolphin, and is known for resilience, adaptability, and self-sacrifice. These individuals make the most of their environment, persist through setbacks, and work tirelessly through meaningful goals, often with a dedication to universal improvement. The Decan of martyrdom can be a condition of extreme pain, torment, anguish, or suffering, or the willingness to work towards a cause or belief, no matter how difficult. The cosmic insight says, man, by his thoughts, his emotions, and his actions on earth, builds for himself a home in a higher realm where he will dwell after passing from the physical plane. The third decan, Capricorn Virgo, with Mercury as the sub-influence, is Pisces Australis, the southern fish, and represents idealism and imagination. Individuals are adept at visualizing ideals and translating them into reality. They have a strong connection to the higher inspirations. They thrive with creative freedom and bring spiritual insights into their work. The decan of idealism is the intellectual, emotional, or practical enhancement of what currently exists. The capacity to see things as they really could be. Mars, the planet of aggression, aggressive action, is exalted in the 28th degree of Capricorn. Through their intellectual interests, there is an affinity for the ideals and knowledge imparted by the stream of vibratory influence flowing from higher levels. The celestial message being, from the inner planes, it is possible for man to attract any information whatsoever he is capable of utilizing. So here we have Jean Jennings Bartik, born in 1924, in the Capricorn First Decadent organization, of which she exemplifies. As one of the first computer programmers, she contributed to the systematic structuring of early computing, which paved the way for the advancements in technology. Her work required a high level of order, foresight, and coordination, reflecting the Decan Cygnus qualifies her as a pioneer who brings positive change through organization. Bartik was a pioneering computer scientist who helped shape the future of computing. Martyrdom. Mel Gibson was born in 1956 in the Capricorn Taurus second decadent, Australian-American actor, director, and producer, known for his intense performances and dedication to his craft. He has taken on challenging roles that embody suffering and sacrifice. However, a combination of public outbursts, misogynistic behavior, and alcoholism resulted in being blacklisted with a tarnished reputation. Mel Gibson is viewed as a martyr, enduring public scrutiny while pursuing his artistic vision. Idealism. Jeff Bezos, born in 1964 in the Capricorn Virgo third decan. Bezos is the founder of Amazon, an e-commerce pioneer. His vision for Amazon extended beyond traditional retail, transforming it into a global, multifaceted powerhouse. He possesses the ability to imagine possibilities beyond current realities and bring them to life. Jeff Bezos combines visionary idealism with relentless ambition to transform industries and shape the future. Aquarius, man comes of age. I know is the key word, element air, ruler Uranus. Knowledge required by the Aquarian religion. The religion thus formulated should be called the religion of the stars. And as this religion is based on that wisdom, which expresses the Aquarian spirit of altruism, the divine wisdom associated with the Aquarian constellation, the spiritual message is, do and think unto others as you would have them do and think unto you. The first decan Aquarius, with Uranus as a sub-influence, is Equilius, the horse's head, representing originality. Equilus symbolizes the quest for knowledge and independence, independent thought and curiosity. Those born under this decadent are progressive, original thinkers, and they shine in expressing their ideas. They are skilled in understanding human nature. They excel in education and leadership. Their strength lies in their ability to inspire others. The decan of originality and inventiveness, the ability to act and think independently with a fresh outlook. The cosmic insight is, next to love, man's most useful companion is knowledge, and in particular, the knowledge of the manner in which the planets influence human life and destiny. The second decadent, Aquarius Gemini, with Mercury as the sub-influence, is Pegasus, the flying horse. This decadent of inspiration is symbolized by a strong connection to the superphysical world and the ability to access creative insights. They have an innate ability to astral travel. Natives excel in imaginative pursuits, using their talents to convey compelling ideas. They should engage in intellectual, stimulating work to harness their resourcefulness. This is the decan of inspiration. These individuals are imaginative communicators who also excel in education and leadership, serving both themselves and humanity through inspiration characterized by a sudden, brilliant, or timely idea. Mercury, the planet of expression, is exalted in the 15th degree of Aquarius. The spiritual message here is, under special conditions, while still maintaining physical life, it is possible for man to free himself from the physical body, to visit the homes of the dead, to enter the halls of learning, and to bring back in full consciousness the knowledge gained in higher spheres. The third decadent, Aquarius Libra, with Venus as its sub-influence. Cetus, the whale monster, is the symbol and reflects a tendency to pursue relationships for material reasons rather than genuine love. Individuals find fulfillment in harmonious partnerships. Denying true affection can be dangerous. They need to avoid isolation and thrive by engaging with others and contributing to humanity's betterment. The decan of repression is marked by the suppression of painful memories and feelings. Know this truth. The monster which demands the sacrifice of the fairest use of the land is discord in marriage. Originality. Volodymyr Zelensky, born in 1978, his originality shines through his unique and independent approach to leadership. As president of Ukraine, he aims to bring order and unity to a nation in turmoil, navigating political factions and aiming for systematic improvements. This decadence suggests he is a forerunner for possible change, using organization and diplomacy to bring people together, much like the swan soaring toward a brighter future. Inspiration, Rosa Parks, born 1913. She is the lady who resisted racial segregation injustice. Her actions and resilience just a minute. Got a little lost there. We're back. Her actions and resilience. In the face of adversity, this decadent is characterized by her strength to rise above the challenges and her ability to make the most of difficult circumstances. Her courageous act was one of self-sacrifice that fueled progress, echoing the dolphin's adaptability and persistence, inspiring her to act in what she believed in. Repression. Abraham Lincoln, born in 1809, was the 16th president of the United States. Lincoln aligns with the decadent of repression, which reflects his inner strength and emotional control he displayed throughout his presidency. This decadence suggests his ability to connect with the higher ideals and convey them in a practical manner. Lincoln's values and visions eclipsed his personal demons, especially when his country was facing its most challenging times. Pisces, the tree of life. The key word is I believe. Element water, ruler Neptune, the eternal tie that binds. Love is the tree of life, and its fruit is universal brotherhood. The first decadent of Pisces with its sub-influence Neptune is the decan of Cepheus the king. Cepheus symbolized the pursuit of truth through intuition and spiritual insight. Those born under this decadent have strong intuitive abilities, making them skilled at uncovering hidden truths. They have a solid understanding of esoteric ideas. They are natural mystics who seek truth through psychic faculties rather than strict science. Their talents are well suited for secretive and investigative roles. This is the decadent of verity is truth, and represents the quality of being true, genuine, valid, or bona fide, a commitment to truth, authenticity, and a genuine understanding in principles, beliefs, and doctrines. The tarot is to astrology what the moon is to the sun. Astrology and tarot are known to initiates as the two keys. They are the keys to verity, the keys to truth, the real keys for which Peter is renowned, the sacred doctrine being, as it is above, so it is below, and that which is below is like unto that which is above. The second decadent, Pisces Cancer, with the moon as the sub-influence, is Andromeda and represents the human soul struggle with material desires and the burdens of earthly existence. Often inspired by spiritual influences, these individuals grasp the essence of universal brotherhood and find fulfillment in alleviating the suffering of others, despite their own constraints. This decan emphasizes the nobility of enduring hardship for the benefit of others. Individuals born under this decan often impose limitations to aid humanity's progress. They have a strong connection with spiritual realms and embrace universal brotherhood. They find fulfillment through alleviating suffering. The decan of self-sacrifice is giving up one's interests for the happiness or for the sake of others. The universal truth being, he who sacrifices his own desires for the welfare of others draws down the divine fire from heaven, and with it kindles the highest potencies of his own soul. The third decadent of Pisces Scorpio, with its sub-influence Mars, is represented by Cassiopeia, the queen on her throne, and reflects the adaptability and varied life experience, encompassing pride and sacrifice. Those born under this influence have eventful lives and excel in diverse careers. They are adaptable and seek stimulation and change. Their dynamic nature requires excitement to thrive. Their greatest potential lies in supernatural research and using their insights to help others prepare for life beyond death. This decadent embodies vicissitudes or natural changes in circumstance or fortune, often unwelcome or unpleasant. Venus, the planet of love, is exalted in the 27th degree of Pisces. So such is the spiritual circuit. We have talked about the 36 decanates, and we have started with Aries and have ended in Pisces, the spiritual circuit, which permits the passing to the next life in full consciousness. Thus, the celestial knowledge with which the circle of constellations closes is, man may pass from this life to the next, even through death, with no greater break in his affairs than would be occasioned by leaving his acquaintances in one city and taking up his activities in another city amid a different group of friends. Verity is truth is represented by Robert Baden-Powell. He was born in 1857 in the Pisces Decan. He was a British Army officer and founder of the Scout movement. His focus was on instilling values of integrity, duty, and community, emphasizing the importance of truth and genuine beliefs. Robert Baden-Powell Scout motto, "Be prepared," emphasizes the readiness to face life's challenges with honesty. Self-sacrifice, Bobby Fischer, born in 1943 in the second Pisces Cancer Decan. His dedication to chess demanded intense personal commitment and reflects his willingness to give up much of himself to pursue greatness in his field. Quote, "I have sacrificed everything. I have no life, no friends, no hobbies, no pleasures. All I have is chess." This quote highlights the intense personal sacrifice Fischer made in his singular pursuit of chess mastery. Vicissitudes, Einstein, born in 1879, aligns with the third Pisces Scorpio decadent of change in circumstance. His life and work brought revolutionary changes in understanding the universe, and he navigated various personal and professional shifts. His ability to circumstances and openness to new ideas resonate with this decade's theme of embracing change as a natural part of growth and discovery. Albert Einstein once remarked, "Life is like riding a bicycle. To keep your balance, you must keep moving." This quote reflects his philosophy on overcoming life's challenges and vicissitudes by maintaining forward momentum and resilience. The following documents are attached to this video for easy reference. The first document, this one, explores the spiritual doctrines of the 48 constellations. Well, the 12 constellations and 36 decans, offering deeper spiritual insight into the symbology behind the chosen images. It explains why certain pictures were selected to represent the subtle variations in personality traits, strengths, and challenges. It is 10 pages in length. This document is a reference to the approximate dates and the corresponding 36 decan key words. And here is a brief summary of the decadence, adding depth and distinction to your star map analysis. I encourage you to explore the decadence when analyzing charts. They will amaze you with how accurately they reflect the individual you are reading. Thank you for joining me to learn about the decadence the Hermetic way. For more information on the constellations and their decans, please visit light.org, located in Course 7, Spiritual Astrology, Chapter 13 of the 21 Brotherhood of Light courses. You can further explore the complete works on the Hermetic occult sciences at light.org. Know thyself, and thou wilt know all the mysteries of the gods and the universe. The Hermetic greeting is life, love, and light. It resonates deeply with the principles of Hermetism, which emphasize the interconnectedness of all things, the balance of opposites, and the pursuit of wisdom. This phrase evokes a sense of unity with the universe, the illumination of knowledge, and the nurturing power of love. May we all walk in harmony with the stars and the wisdom of the cosmos. Thank you again for being here. Bye.